Hello there, and welcome to the Magical Mystery Music Shop. Yes, it is a little bit of a mouthful, but it's totally worth it and very accurate because here at the Magical Mystery Music Shop, we carry music that you simply won't find anywhere else in the world. What do I mean by that? Well, we are one of the last shops on the planet that carries magical harmonies. You're not familiar with magical harmonies? Well, magical harmonies are musical recordings that have an element of magic woven throughout them that can help you achieve certain skills or protections that can be used for yourself or for other people, depending on the purpose. Yes, it is very interesting. It was very common among the witches in slightly older days. It has fallen out of fashion now simply because it doesn't work with digital music. There's something about the electrons of recording a digital recording that are not compatible with magical spells. So any form of magical music has to be on a physical format. And as that is not as common anymore, recording magical musical harmonies has fallen out of fashion in favor of more standard spellbook spells or wand spells, charms, things like that. However, as I said, we do still carry a large selection of vintage musical spell melodies. You think you might be interested in looking at a few and making a purchase? Okay, do you have anything in particular that you're interested in? You're not too sure? You're kind of new at this? You didn't even know that this existed? Yeah, we are really kind of a niche shop, so not a lot of people do know about us. Even many witches don't know about us these days. It's really... well, as we like to say, it's kind of a witch niche. So we are niche even among witches. So. But now that you've found us, I may be able to recommend a few pieces of music that you might be interested in. These have always tended to be very big sellers, some of the greatest hits of the musical spell world, if you will. That sounds pretty good. Okay, then let's see. What shall we start with today? This is always handy. So this one is in cassette form. And this one is a protective shield melody. So if you play this one, you'll be protected from any harm as long as the melody is playing. Now, as with most of our magical melodies, you'll want to be wearing a pair of earplugs while you are playing this music. Otherwise, it will affect you as well. So, for example, this one being a magical shield, if you play this, you'll be protected from anyone who hears it. So anyone who would want to do you harm when they hear this played, they will not be able to hit you with any spells or anything like that. You definitely want to have your earplugs in, otherwise it will create kind of an awkward situation where both you and an enemy are unable to throw spells at each other because you both have the same shield from both hearing the same music, and neither one of you can throw spells. So we do sell high quality earplugs. You will definitely want to take a pair of those with most of the tracks here, because most of the tracks are general listening, meaning that you play them for whoever you're trying to affect. So in this case, you are trying to stop someone from being able to harm you, and when they hear this, it forms a shield around you, and they are unable to hit you with any magic spells. So, how wide does the shield go? It really doesn't go very wide, it's just surrounding you. So, if you're trying to get someone else in your shield, it also will not work unless you're physically touching that person. So you would have to hold their hand or something like that in order for the shield to extend to them as well. Because again, it doesn't actually so much create a shield as prevent people from harming you when they hear it. So that's just kind of the way this one works. And of course, you would want whoever else you're trying to protect to be wearing earplugs as well if they are hoping to be using any of their own magic. You think you'd like to take that one? Okay. Let me just stick it back in its case here, and you can take this one with you. Would you like just that one, or do you want me to go through a few more? You want me to go through a few more? Okay, let's see what else. Oh, this one's kind of handy. Now, this one is a compact disc, and this one causes whoever hears the music to move in slow motion. So, once again, you will want to wear earplugs with this if you don't want to end up running in slow motion as well. But this is great for whenever you need to get away from someone. About 40 feet, so this will extend about 40 feet beyond wherever the player is. So you can either leave a player in one spot, and whoever hears it will be moving in extreme slow motion, or you can keep the player with you, and it will prevent them from moving at regular speed anytime they get within 40 feet of you if you're holding the player. Again, wear the earplugs or you will be moving in slow motion as well, and it's kind of hard to outrun someone in slow motion if you are moving in slow motion as well, so always remember those earplugs. You think you'll pass on that one? Okay. I'll just stick that one back on the shelf. Now, this one, super handy, little bit of music. This is an invisibility recording. Yes, this will actually make you invisible. This one is one of the few that we call a U recording, meaning that you have to listen to the music in order to receive the effect. So this one is not a manipulation of other people's senses through sound. This one you listen to yourself, no earplugs obviously, and then you get the benefits of listening to it. As a matter of fact, I'll demonstrate this for you right now. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this in my 8-track player here. And then as soon as I slip on the headphones, just like that, as you can see, I have completely disappeared, and you can still hear me talking because I'm still here, but I have completely disappeared. So as long as the music is playing, no one will be able to see you. And I'm back. Now, the reason that we recommend using headphones with this is because you don't want anyone else to be able to listen to this particular harmony Otherwise, they will also end up with the power of invisibility. And again, if you're trying to flee from an enemy, but they end up hearing the music as well, the two of you are going to be invisible, and neither of you will know where the other one is, which can be good at times, I suppose, but for the most part, it's obviously much more to your advantage if your enemies can't see you, but you are still able to see them. So that's why we suggest using the headphones with it. Unfortunately, this one only comes in the 8-track format. There were not a lot of this recording made. The Council of Witches decided that this one was kind of dangerous to have around, so they cut off recording after 150 recordings, and they had all of the other mediums destroyed, all the other mediums that it was recorded on destroyed, and somehow a few of the 8-track versions made it through the destruction. So we are lucky enough to have a few of these available for sale. But yes, you do need an 8-track player to listen to this one. Unfortunately, there is no other format still available today. You'll have to pass because you don't have an 8-track player. Yeah, that does make it a little more difficult, but we carry it because some people still do have 8-track players. So, let's see what else is useful. Alright, well, moving into the good old vinyl recordings. This one here is a hypnotization melody, and anyone who hears this becomes extremely susceptible to suggestion. So it's really great to just tell your enemies to turn around and walk the other way. And this is one of the few where the results last after the music has stopped playing. So if you make a suggestion while the melody is playing, it will continue to hold even after the music stops, which again is why it's great for if you're having a disagreement with an enemy and you put on the music, let them hear it, tell them to just turn around and never bother you again. You'll never have to worry about them ever again. Yes, this is one that you'll want earplugs for as well. Otherwise, you will also become extremely susceptible to suggestion if you're listening to this particular melody. This is an expensive one. I think there were only about 35 of these ever pressed, and it was only available in vinyl. Never made it to any of the other formats, and I'm not sure why they only made 35 pressings. Perhaps, again, it's kind of a dangerous harmony to be having around, but it can be very much worth the money. This is $1,372. Yes, it's a very expensive piece of vinyl, but obviously you've heard the description of what it does, so I'm sure you can understand why. You totally understand, but it's a little bit out of your price range? No problem. I totally understand that. So, let's see. Well, why don't we check out this one here, another cassette tape, and this one we call the Aurora melody, which is just kind of a cute reference to Sleeping Beauty. This one is actually so old we're not sure what the original recording of the music was called. We have it available in several formats, but this is the cassette version because it's the most portable. And what this one does is it causes anyone who hears it to fall asleep. hence the Sleeping Beauty reference with the nickname that we gave it. And so this one has a very wide radius. It has a 10-mile radius, so if you put this on a loudspeaker, it's going to knock out anyone within a 10-mile radius, which can really be helpful if you find yourself in a sticky situation that you need to very quickly get out of. Just put on this cassette tape and everyone will very quickly fall asleep. It's also very handy to use on yourself if you're having a little trouble sleeping. Just pop in this tape and you'll fall asleep almost immediately. And even after the music stops playing, you should sleep right through the night, a nighttime sleep. So, if you're kind of an insomniac, it really works great for that. You definitely think you want that one? You are a little bit of an insomniac? Okay, let's just stick this one back into its case. Well, there you go. You've got 2 cassette tapes now, and being a cassette tape, that one's great for on the go if you're taking a flight somewhere and having trouble sleeping on the plane. You can just pop that into your Walkman and fall right to sleep, no problem, no matter what's going on around you in the plane. So, would you like to see any more, or are you good with those? You'd like to still see a couple more? All right, let's see. Well, here's another CD. It's kind of stuck in there really good. Hang on. There we go. Now, this one is another U melody. So you're going to want to play this with headphones if you don't want to share the magical enhancements that it gives you. And when I say magical enhancements, that is exactly what I mean by this, because this will give you the ability to fly. Yes, it's a really great melody to have around, because who couldn't use the ability to fly once in a while, am I right? So, yeah, just stick on your headphones, and as long as you hold on to your player, of course, you can't leave it on the ground or your headphones will become unplugged. But as long as you take it with you and keep the headphones on your ears, you will be able to fly. And as long as no one else can hear the music playing in your headphones, they will not be able to fly. So that becomes very handy if you're trying to escape from an enemy again, or it's just fun to glide along, over the park at sunset and, just kind of ride the waves of air. The one thing to be careful of is that as soon as the melody ends, you will immediately fall from the sky back to earth. So if you realize the melody's ending, you might want to start heading back toward earth. Yes, I would recommend listening to it several times through before you actually fly too high with the melody. That way you'll kind of recognize when the melody is starting to reach the end and you can safely come back to earth before the music's over, You think you'd like to take that one as well? Okay. We'll just stick that one back in its case and hand that one to you as well. There's one more, as long as we're here, that I'd like to show you. Might come in handy, might not, but I'd like to show it to you anyway here. Now, this one is a Forgetfulness melody. So, very important that you use your earplugs with this because, again, if you're listening to the melody, it will affect you as well. But this one, it's kind of like the Hypnotization melody, except that it works specifically on the memory functions. So, for example, if you do something stupid and want someone to forget it, you can play this little melody and suggest that they forget that. It only works on one, shall we say, item at a time, so you can't just wipe someone's memory. They have to listen to the entire melody, and you can suggest one thing that you would like them to forget, but be sure they listen to the entire melody, otherwise the magic will not work. And if you want them to forget something else, then you have to restart and have them listen to the whole melody all over again while you suggest the next one, and so on. So it's not like you can just wipe someone's entire memory. You have to do it slowly, piece by piece with certain things. So you do have to be selective, unless for some reason you have 1,000,000 hours in a day, which isn't very likely. But again, you want to be careful with this, because if you're hearing it, then you're going to be susceptible to forgetting as well. So just be sure that you're wearing earplugs whenever you're using this. You think this one sounds a little too complicated? Okay, no problem. I'll just stick that one back in there. Alright, so let's see then. So you've got the flying CD, the sleepiness cassette, and the protective shield cassette. Is that good for now, or would you like anything else? You think that's good for now? Okay. And any extras? Would you like to purchase a pair of headphones, or do you already have a pair? I know you said you have an old Walkman. Do you have headphones with that? You do. Okay, excellent. And what about earplugs? Do you have a high quality set of earplugs? You don't. Would you like to purchase a set before you leave? Because obviously a couple of those you're going to want earplugs with. You would. Okay. Do you know what size you need? Okay, great. Yes, we do have a box of those, so set those there with your musical choices. And so let me see. Grand total here is going to be $372.95. Okay, thank you very much. Is this being run as credit or debit? Okay. Okay, here's that back, and you are all set. Go on and get musically magical, okay? And should you find yourself in need of any more harmony in your life, please stop back and I'm sure we can help you out. Thank you for visiting the Magical Mystery Music Shop today.